harvest has come. The subject, as you see, is patience and God's power. Patience. Patience might have been a virtue in another generation, like Job's generation. But impatience with delay and the urgent desire for quick results is what our generation wants, right? In fact, somebody has said the prayer of modern America is this: Dear Lord, I pray for patience and I want it right now. In our age of instant success and unimaginable internet speed, I won't even mention AI, none of us want to hear, do we? You don't just wake up one morning and discover that you're an NBA champion or a golfer supremo or tennis champion star or mathematician or mechanic or theologian or musician, right, Carl? Just don't wake up and that happens overnight. We don't want to hear that, do we? And forget talking about the world was not made in a day. So, and it won't be remade in an instant. Ask our leaders, our political leaders, if that's not what everybody is expecting of them, to remake everything in an instant. And for us to recall Jesus' timeless truth in that parable that we have just read from Mark's Gospel, when he said to his disciples then, look at nature, how things happen. First the stalk, then the ear, then the head, and finally the corn comes to fruition because it is harvest. And there's the German proverb that says, long is not forever. We need to hear that again, don't we? If you think hearing all of that is frustrating for us today, imagine Jesus' disciples then, facing all the frustrations of life that they had to deal with and the delayed outcomes of the promised kingdom of God that was supposed to change everything instantly, overnight. And so can't you hear those disciples saying, Lord, haven't you heard all the scornful, cynical criticisms our opponents are throwing at us when they are asking us, what kind of a big shot Messiah pretender is this that you're bringing to our attention? You have been claiming that he is the one who is going to change everything overnight. Where is the promised kingdom of God? And what do you have to show as results of that coming kingdom that you're all talking about so insistently? And then the dagger that they really threw at them, the disciples reminded Jesus when they said, we knew that no good thing can ever come from Nazareth. And if outsiders, they continued, are cynical in their threatening of our confidence, some of our own insiders who are part of the zealots are impatiently saying to us, Lord, for God's sake, give us the go-ahead to rise up, arm ourselves, and throw off the Roman yoke and all the Gentile oppression that we are subjected to. Just give us the go-ahead and we will arm ourselves and do it. And make ourselves free once and for all. For they ended, this slow step-by-step pace that you want us to go by, if we were to follow that, we will be dead and gone, and the kingdom will not still come about. They were in deep distress and despair, weren't they? So they ended their plea to Jesus. Lord, how about a little sensationalism that will turn some heads and shut up all the criticisms and complaints and doubts that they are sharing and hurling at us about the delayed coming of the kingdom of God? How about a few miracles? Lord, how about just turning some stones into bread? And how about just jumping off the top of the temple and dazzle the crowd when you land safely, and they will all just say, oh, wow, and cheer wildly. And Lord, if you have to compromise your message and your method a little, don't be so inflexible with this love and patience business. Loosen up a little bit, Lord. How about a drone strike and something sensational? That will silence all our critics. In that kind of a context, in that kind of an atmosphere of disheartening doubt and disbelief, that they were making no difference whatsoever, and some of the followers, in fact, were threatening to give up and desert the ranks and leave because of the slow or no progress. Jesus said to the 12, will you also go? Read John 6 and verse 66. They were ready to leave him because of all the criticism. Nothing is happening. All this patience business. When angry impatience, hopelessness, and frustration are all around, and the cause that they were committed to, the cause of Christ that they were committed to, seems so futile and failing, Jesus very calmly said to them, it is the case with the kingdom of God, as when a farmer scatters seed on the ground. He sleeps and he wakes night and day. The seed sprouts and grows. He knows not how. He has no clue. The seeds had no help from him. That's the word that I used, the Greek word, automati. On its own, without any assistance from anybody. It's a miracle if you really stop and think about it. The earth produces automati, first the stalk, then the ear, then the full-grown corn, because harvest has come. Jesus was saying to them then, that farmer, he could have been absolutely paralyzed by both doubt and worry as to whether the seed or the soil could ever prevail against the worms, the wind, and the weather. He could have impatiently, that farmer, he could have just walked away from the slow growth and the no growth after all his efforts and admit, I have failed. My efforts are futile. All that is possible now is to throw in the towel, walk away, and cut my losses. Jesus would say. Instead of walking away, giving up, and saying things are taking too long, instead Jesus said to them then and to us today, that mature farmer looked all the doubting Thomases and the impatient one straight in the eye those who were ready to give up, and said to them, not knowing the power of God, how you err to be so full of doubt. Don't you realize that all things are possible with God, who gives the seed, the soil, and the sun, and eventually the harvest? Why are you so full of doubt? Can you do anything about anything anyway? And so Jesus concluded, he said, just you do what I do. Sow and leave the grow to God. The superficial observation would have said nothing is happening. Those seeds that were sown by you at Lely and you in your own individual families at home, those seeds will never produce anything worthwhile waiting for, because nothing seems to be happening. Nobody is impressed by our witness, our love, our sharing, our caring, our compassionate attention to their needs, or praying for them. Nobody really is touched by that and impressed with all that. But the great psalmist knew impatience and unwisdom when he saw it, didn't he? And this is what he said: those who sow patiently with tears shall doubtless come with shouts of joy, bringing in the sheaves. Read Psalm 126 and verse 6, if you will. Harvest is on the way, said the psalmist then, and Jesus to the disciples then. I know you want that harvest to come yesterday, but that patient farmer I'm telling you about knew their history as a people. And he remembered the psalmist's teaching in times of upheaval and unrest, and he counseled, wait on the Lord and be of good courage. Yes, nations are in an uproar, the psalmist said. Kingdoms totter, mountains shake, all nature is in turmoil. We don't need to be reminded of that in Florida, do we? But, said the psalmist at the conclusion, be still. And the word in Hebrew really means drop your arms, your military arms, and drop your physical arms. That won't help you. That won't win any battles. That won't cause anything to grow and impress anybody. Be still, drop your arms, and know that I am God. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us, is what you need to say and affirm. The God of Jacob is our refuge. And so the psalmist ended by saying, therefore, we will not fear. Isn't that amazing? When you understand what God is doing, and that it's not up to us to bring in the harvest of souls. We remember when everybody used to come to church, it was a thing to do, right? You woke up and church was the thing to do on Sunday morning. And you went to confirmation class, and then you became a member, and the church was full and running over. Things have changed. And you wonder, what are we doing wrong? How long will those good old days take to come back? My friends, let me end by saying to you, Jesus is not condoning laziness or complacency, but rather Jesus is commending reliance on God as the one who leads, as the one who guides, as the one who gives, the only one who gives the increase and gives us the sustainability to keep on keeping on no matter what is going on all around us. The earth produces of itself with God behind it. First the blade, then the ear, then the full-grown head. So what I'm saying to us this morning is patience shows the power of God at work. Oh, it might not seem like anything is happening, that you have been waiting for so long to get a pastor around here, and how long more do you have to put up with this old 80-year-old man? But remember, the secret, hear this, the secret of patience is to do something else in the meantime. That's the secret of patience. And one more pearl. The difference between the possible and the impossible is that the impossible takes a little longer. How about that? The prophet Isaiah said, "They that wait upon the Lord with hope and confidence in God, they shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and walk and walk and keep on walking, and they won't fall down and faint." And the psalmist ended by saying, had it not been for the Lord who was on our side, read Psalm 124, we would never have made it. Is that what you believe this morning at Lely? If you do, I invite you to stand and sing with me, "Oh Jesus, I have promised to serve thee to the end."